She replaced you to feel in control, to feel like the one who held the pen when the story ended, like the one whose decision mattered more than your presence, like the one who could determine the terms of the ending and the beginning of what came next. And for a moment, maybe for several moments, it worked. The control felt real. The power felt genuine. The specific, intoxicating certainty of being the one who chose felt like exactly the kind of agency she had been looking for. And then something happened that she did not calculate for. You stopped being someone she could control. And the moment that happened, everything shifted. Like and subscribe to Stoic Blessing. We show up every week for the man doing the hard work. Let's get into it. The first thing to understand is why people use replacement as a control mechanism, because understanding the psychology clearly is what allows you to receive the experience without absorbing it as a statement about your value. Replacement as control is almost never about the person being replaced. It is about the person doing the replacing. Specifically, it is about a person whose sense of agency depends on their ability to determine the emotional states of the people around them, on being the one who initiates, who decides, who can produce specific feelings in another person as a demonstration that they hold the relational leverage. That is a very specific and very fragile kind of control, because it only functions as long as the person being replaced continues to organize their inner life around the replacing person as the primary variable in their sense of themselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the difference between genuine power and the performance of it, between the specific, internally generated sovereignty of a man who governs his own mind and choices from the ground of genuine values, and the fragile, other-dependent simulation of power that requires controlling others' responses to feel real. He called the first kind the only kind worth having, not because influence over others is meaningless, but because influence over others is always temporary and always conditional. The only power that is permanently, genuinely yours is the sovereignty of your own inner life. She replaced you to feel in control. She was operating from the fragile kind. You are building the other kind. Comment below, real power comes from within, if you finally stopped giving anyone the ability to take yours. Here is what the control mechanism actually revealed about the person using it. And naming this clearly is part of what frees you from the specific suffering that replacement as control is designed to produce. The person who needs to replace you in order to feel in control has communicated something profound about the nature of their relationship with their own sense of power. Genuine control, the specific, grounded, internally sourced experience of being the author of your own choices, does not require producing a specific response in a specific person to feel real. It simply is. Present and consistent and entirely self-contained. The person who genuinely has it does not need to demonstrate it through the specific, targeted mechanism of replacement designed to produce a response. Epictetus was direct about this distinction. He taught that the person who needs to control others in order to feel powerful has not found genuine power. They have found a substitute for it, a temporary, other-dependent simulation of the genuine article. And like all substitutes, it works until the conditions that make it work change. The condition that made the replacement as control work was your ongoing investment in her as the measure of your worth. When that investment changed, when you began the genuine daily work of relocating your sense of yourself from her assessment to your own character, the control mechanism lost the specific vulnerability it was designed to exploit. Not because you retaliated, because you built something that the mechanism had no leverage over. Comment below, you can't control someone who controls themselves if the moment you stopped being controllable was the moment everything changed. Now the Stoic demand, the one that makes the difference between genuinely taking your power back and simply performing the taking of it. Taking your power back cannot be organized around the goal of demonstrating to her that the control mechanism failed. It cannot be animated by the desire to show her that she made a mistake, or to produce in her the specific recognition that what she thought was power was actually its own exposure. Because power taken back through the desire to demonstrate its taking is still organized around her, still measuring its reality by her response, still requiring her acknowledgement to feel genuine. That is not the Stoic taking back of power. That is the same fragile game played from the other side. The genuine taking back of power is quieter and more permanent than that. It is the specific, daily, entirely internal act of redirecting every ounce of attention and energy that had been organized around her, around the dynamic, around the hope of her recognition, around the anxious management of a situation that was never genuinely yours to manage, back into the only territory where power can be genuinely and permanently built. Your own choices, your own character, your own daily practice of becoming more specifically and authentically yourself. That redirection, silent, consistent, requiring no announcement, is the actual taking back of power. Marcus Aurelius conducted this practice every single day of his adult life, not as a response to a specific person, as a complete orientation toward himself and toward what was genuinely within his control. Comment below, I redirected everything back to me, if reclaiming your power was a daily decision, not a dramatic moment. Let's talk about what taking your power back actually looks like in the specific, ordinary, daily reality of the period following the replacement. The power taking did not happen in a single moment of dramatic decision. It happened in the texture of the ordinary days. The morning where the first investment went to your own life, rather than to the management of her perception of you. The workout done not to look better for her assessment, but because your body is yours and you are responsible for what you make of it. The work invested in, not to impress anyone watching, but because the work matters to you independently of whether anyone is grading it. The evening examination of your own choices, rather than the exhausting, dignity-eroding analysis of hers. Seneca wrote that the man who is genuinely sovereign over his own life does not need dramatic demonstrations of that sovereignty. He demonstrates it daily in the unremarkable, individually insignificant succession of choices that collectively constitute the direction and character of a life. Each choice to invest in yourself, rather than in the management of her control over your emotional state, is a small, concrete, embodied act of taking your power back, not from her, for yourself. That distinction, power taken for yourself rather than taken from her, is the specific difference between the Stoic reclamation of power and the performance of it. Genuine power-taking does not require her to lose anything. It simply requires you to gain everything that was always yours. Comment below one day at a time if the reclamation happened in the ordinary moments, not in a single dramatic reversal. Here is the honest accounting of what the replacement as control dynamic was actually costing you while you were inside it. The cost was not just the pain of the replacement itself. It was the specific, daily, cumulative cost of organizing your inner life around someone whose primary relationship with you was as a subject of control rather than as a genuine partner in something real. Every hour spent in the low-grade background anxiety of monitoring where you stood in a dynamic, where your standing was always at the discretion of someone who needed your uncertainty to maintain their sense of power. Every one of those hours was an hour of your finite, irreplaceable life that was not going toward your own genuine becoming. The Stoics were unsparing about this accounting. Seneca wrote that the man who allows his most valuable resource, his attention, his time, his capacity for genuine engagement with the world, to be consumed by dynamics that do not deserve it, is not just making a strategic error, he is wasting the irreplaceable substance of his own life. The replacement as control dynamic did not just disrespect you in the moment of the replacement. It had been redirecting your best energy for as long as the dynamic had been running, and the taking back of power, the genuine, daily, unsexy, compounding work of reclaiming that energy for your own genuine investment, is the most complete and most honest reckoning with that cost available. Comment below, my energy deserved better, if doing the honest accounting finally showed you what you were paying and why you stopped. Let's address the specific moment when she realizes the control mechanism has stopped working, because this moment is worth examining honestly. What she realizes is not a single dramatic recognition. It is the specific, accumulating, pattern-disrupting awareness that the leverage she had been operating from no longer produces the response it used to produce. The availability that used to be guaranteed is no longer guaranteed. The emotional organization around her, as the primary variable, has shifted. The man who used to be reachable in the specific, hunger-driven way that control mechanisms depend on, is now reachable in a completely different way, from genuine fullness rather than from need, from choice rather than from compulsion. And that shift, felt before it is understood, registered before it is articulated, is the most honest possible communication of what the power-taking actually produced. What she does with that recognition is entirely her business and entirely outside your control. Some people use the realization that the control mechanism has stopped working as the beginning of genuine self-examination. Others reach back from the discomfort of losing the leverage, attempting to restore access to the previous dynamic under the cover of a softer approach. The man who has taken his power back genuinely knows the difference between these two offers, not through suspicion, through the specific, practiced clarity of a man who has done his own honest accounting and is no longer willing to accept the performance of genuine change in place of the real thing. Comment below, I know the difference, if you can now tell which one is being offered before you re-engage. Here is what genuine power actually produces in a man who has built it, and this needs to be described precisely because it is almost never what people imagine when they first hear the phrase, taking your power back. What it produces is not impressive invulnerability, not the cold, affect-free, nothing-touches-me posture of a man who has decided that being unaffected is the highest available aspiration. That is not power. That is defense. And defense is still organized around the thing it is defending against. What genuine power produces is presence. The specific, unmistakable, impossible to manufacture quality of a person who is fully inhabiting their own existence, who is not monitoring the room for signals about how they are being received, not performing a version of themselves calibrated to produce a specific impression, not organized around any external person's assessment of them as the primary variable in their sense of themselves. Marcus Aurelius embodied this quality so thoroughly that even people who opposed him commented on it. The specific, settled, entirely self-contained quality of a man who was completely at home in himself, regardless of what the empire or the moment required of him. That quality, genuine presence from genuine groundedness, is what the daily Stoic work produces. Not armor, foundation, not cold, complete. The man who has taken his power back through the genuine work of genuine self-investment carries that completeness into every room, every conversation, every interaction with every person who encounters him from here forward, including her, and when she encounters it, the specific, unmistakable quality of a man who is fully himself and genuinely needs nothing from her response. She encounters something she did not anticipate, when she replaced him to feel in control. Comment below, grounded, not armored, if the power you built is presence, not defense. Here is what to do if she comes back, because the control move, when it fails to produce the powerlessness it was designed to produce, frequently generates a reach. The man who has genuinely taken his power back does not respond with the relief that would immediately reveal that the power-taking was a performance. He does not respond with the punishment that would reveal he is still organized around her as the primary variable in his emotional state. He responds warmly, honestly, from the grounded place, with the specific clarity of a man who has done the genuine accounting of the previous dynamic and knows exactly what would need to be genuinely different for re-engagement to be worth the investment of everything the power-taking period produced. The question he asks is honest and direct. Is what she is offering now genuinely different from the dynamic in which replacement was used as a control mechanism, not in her stated intentions? In the specific, observable behavioral evidence of someone who has done the genuine inner work of examining why she needed replacement to feel in control and what she is willing to build as an alternative to that fragile, other-dependent version of significance. That work, if it has been done genuinely, is visible. It changes how she shows up in the conversation. And the man who has done his own genuine work recognizes genuine work in others, not through suspicion, through clarity. Comment below, show me, don't tell me, if you've decided that coming back only counts if she's done the work too. The final thing, she replaced you to feel in control. And in the specific daily, imperfect, genuinely demanding period that followed, you took your power back. Not through retaliation, not through the performance of having moved on, through the specific, concrete, lived reality of choosing yourself, your work, your body, your craft, your inner life, your daily relationship with the man you had decided to become, consistently, honestly, in the ordinary and unglamorous moments when nobody was watching, and the only reason to make the choice was that you had decided it was worth making. That decision, quiet, daily, unglamorous, entirely yours, is the most complete and most honest answer to the replacement as control that has ever been available. Not a countermove, a complete withdrawal from the game, the discovery, lived into, daily verified, permanently yours, that the power she was trying to take was never actually hers to take in the first place, that it was always yours, built from your own character, grounded in your own values, belonging to you entirely and requiring nothing from her assessment of you to remain intact. That is what you built in the period since the replacement. That is what taking all the power back actually means. Not the power over the dynamic, the power over yourself, which was always the only power that mattered. Like and subscribe to Stoic Blessing. Stay grounded, stay whole, stay unbreakable.